I just accepted your request, David. Okay, perfect.
Hey Jake,
Howdy.
I just had to enable my microphone and camera, which demonstrates how little I use Instagram. I was like, I know there's going to be some last second kind of craziness.
Yeah, well, that's, technology, I guess, these days. Everything's so new to me. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm becoming more like my mom, whose, like, catchphrase ever since I was a kid was the Industrial Revolution was a mistake. She hates
Quite a
technology,
catchphrase. Quite a catchphrase.
right? She's got a few others, but that one's up there. She's had a 2007 MacBook Pro, I think,
Okay,
since 2007. Like she's gone
that's
through four of
amazing.
them.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's that's Wendy. She's great.
It's mom by your first name. That's great. So
Yeah.
I can you hear me okay like this?
Yeah. It sounds all right to me.
Okay. It Yeah, the camera was weird with my headphones on, so
Mm.
I figured I might just try this, but I might make one adjustment. I haven't. This is a world of firsts today. I haven't really used my phone for live calls, and I know like
Oh,
I first set up my phone about I don't know half hour ago or whatever. It was like on my desk, like looking up at my face, and I've learned that well, it's better to have uh, the camera kind of more center or
mhm.
etiquette, uh, chins. I don't know.
Wait, did you just get like a new phone and set it up today, or did I
No,
mishear you? Oh,
no,
gotcha.
it's an old phone, but I don't use it to all of my video calling and everything. I basically do on my computer, um, or I just hold my phone. But I thought, I want to look presentable or
Mhm.
just be like sprawled out on my couch or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, excited to be here though.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to chat. I don't know. Danny says hi. I'm assuming that's
Yeah, hey
Danny.
Dan.
Hi, Danny. That's so funny. My brother's name is David too, so I feel like he's somewhere around.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe do you think we should start, or should we give it one more minute um, for any other people to pop in?
Well, I'm was expecting, hundreds, thousands of people. So I think, um, you know, I'm good to start whenever. Yeah. I invited some people. You're a fellow. I invited all of our undergraduate fellows to join.
Mm.
Um, yeah. Have you interviewed for this for your center before?
No, this is the first time I've ever been on Instagram Live ever. Well, actually, second time. I tried it out yesterday to
Okay.
like test out any issues on like a personal Instagram. But no, this is a first for me. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe let's dive in. And
Sure.
then I don't know, and we can see. So, hello everyone, to everyone who's just popped up. I'm Jake. I use he, him pronouns. I'm an academics and inclusion programming assistant for the Center for Cultural Enrichment. We're based out of Whitty. We do a lot of programming and education and stuff like that. And this is a Thursday Talks. This is a new thing we're doing. And yeah, so we're just chatting with different people across campus. And this is my guest. That sounds very formal.
Yes.
This is David, and please introduce yourself.
Yeah. David Schultz. I use he, him, his pronouns. Um, I'm a program coordinator for what's called the Center for Religion and Global Citizenry, which Jake is one of our undergraduate fellows. So maybe why it feels formal to say he's my guest, but or that I'm his guest. So I can read our mission statement and gives me kind of a platform to say a little bit more about what we get up to. So at the CRGC, we say CRGC because Center for Religion and Global Citizenry is too much. We seek to increase UW-Madison students' religious literacy and their facility for communicating across boundaries of faith so that they may function effectively as citizens of a religiously diverse world. So, yeah, along with other lines of difference that I think get a lot of play, like in terms of a college experience and kind of recognizing their value. for civic formation, like race, culture, class. I think religion is one that doesn't get as talked about as much, even though it's really central to a lot of people's identities and experience. And so we sort of, take it as just a truism that being able to engage across religious difference is part of being a global citizen, and is part of what counts as like formation in college. And so we seek to offer that kind of space. The biggest way that we do this is through our undergraduate fellowship program, which you're a part of. Jake, Danny is here, one of our fellows. So that program is kind of built around dialogue from week to week. So bringing together a cohort of students. This year we have 21 fellows, which is bigger than a lot of their previous years. Fellows who have different religious backgrounds, no religious background. They come together to kind of share their own experience with religion, dialogue about various topics. People are presenting on their religious traditions, so we're developing kind of a basic understanding of religions and some kind of appreciative knowledge, and understanding not just of religions as abstract entities, but how our peers engage them. So that's how the program is built. But we also, I think, beyond just kind of the educational component, there's also some action, hopefully, and like modeling what it looks like to be a pluralistic community, to be a diverse community. So it's a little bit harder this year, since everything's over Zoom. But in previous years, we've done a lot of events on campus, reached out, we led our students led a conference a couple of years ago. There was some advocacy work around dining hall options and this mandate for students to have like $1,400 in fees. I think this was in 2018. And the mandatory fees were bad for, some Jewish and Muslim students who had dietary restrictions. It wasn't really fair to them to be paying for food that they weren't going to be able to eat. And so the CRGC, the fellows were kind of part of a coalition that actually led to there being, a new policy or a change in the policy that was prescribed. So, there's kind of opportunities depending on what fellows are interested in to get involved on campus and make UW-Madison a more welcoming kind of place for the breadth religious community that's here. I'll say that, and I also something that's just important to me. I feel like, and I say this because I was a fellow when I was an undergraduate here. I felt like the experience really changed how I related with my own religion. After, kind of engaging other traditions, I found that, my religion, my own spirituality was really renewed. And I felt like I could, it just helped me kind of become more adult and more mature, with how I related to my own practice. So, there's some other stuff we do at the CRGC. We have a graduate student seminar. We're also publishing a book. So I put note edits for a book. But that should be done pretty soon here. But maybe that's less interesting for your crew here. But also, is my room pretty dark here? I'm wondering.
It is actually. It's recently. It was a little brighter, but it did darken just. Yeah, I think it's because you're a bit backlit.
Yeah, maybe. Let me try. I have one more light I can try. Not amazing, is it? It adds the slightest bit of light. Okay, we might just have to. It's not as dark for me here. It feels very well. I have everything going. Yeah, on Zoom, and really on Zoom, there's not issues. Instagram, if you're listening. But
it's good to hear. That's good. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was about to say that's super interesting because it is, but I already know a bit about it, so I felt it would come off as disingenuous as a fellow, but no, because I already knew it is. But no, I don't know. Thank you for sharing. Not everyone I didn't know about the CRGC before. A friend of mine at a Jewish org that currently no longer exists emailed me to like about like gauging my interest in participating. And so I don't know. Yeah, so it's a center on campus I hadn't heard about, but really is something that I have been interested. I mean, I'm clearly interested with the fellowship. But
Sure.
yeah, so how did you get involved in interfaith work? And I'm just curious because I feel like we've talked about it in the fellowship a little bit, but not in great detail.
But for the masses out there listening,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I want to get on the record here. So, I mean, to be honest, my first formal kind of interreligious experience was probably the fellowship that you're in now. So when I was a student, yeah, I went to UW-Madison from 2010 to 2014. I almost said 2006 to 2010. With I did it my senior year after also not knowing about the center, and it was the Lubar Institute, and it focused just on Abrahamic religions, so Judaism, Christianity, Islam. But yeah, I mean, I was doing a lot of kind of personal exploration, I think, in college. Like, I ended up getting a major in philosophy, kind of really interested in religion, and like I grew up, in Christianity. My parents are both church workers, so I sort of was very saturated in a religious environment, you could say. Yeah, and in college, I feel like it was just really, yeah, a chance for me to kind of explore lots of different questions, figure out how to understand religion, how to be religious, even just basic things like that, which I think are still those are still real questions for me. But I was into them so much that I thought that my career was somehow implicated in that. And so I think I had one friend who was like, "You really should really just try this fellowship. That would be like valuable to you." And I had taken a class on Buddhism, and I'd had some interreligious conversations with people, and so it seemed like a shoe-in. So I went to some events my junior year, entered the fellowship my senior year. Yeah, I was really kind of moved by it. Felt like it was really impactful experience for me, like I already mentioned. And I think what I sort of realized, one thing I realized was that religion's future to me feels interreligious in some way. That like for me to continue to be religious and kind of make that a big deal in my life means I have to continue engaging other religious traditions in some way. Doesn't mean I need to abandon my own tradition, by no means, but like, yeah, that continuous engagement is like part of the fuel that keeps me going. And I also and I judge for religions in general, particularly in our situation in the United States, that we dialogue with one another. So I ended up studying theology for a master's for 3 years at Boston University. I didn't focus on interfaith per se. I took some classes in other religions and was interested, but I ended up third year there. I worked. I was kind of drawn to university chaplaincy, and I know part of that. So I ended up working for the interfaith program at MIT, and I did some there as well. But it basically they have a different program, so it's not it's not the same. But I kind of helped shape a new program that was emerging there, or there's a new director of the program. I helped him there. So I did that, and then when I was moving back to the Upper Midwest, wanted to land in Wisconsin again. Kind of set feelers out, and I ended up contacting Ulrich, our director, and I was talking to him about the center, and he wanted to expand programming, and so there was really a good opportunity for me to come on, and yeah, I don't know, get my feet wet in the program here. Obviously, things had changed a bit since I left with the new center, but yeah, that was how many years ago? It was like last year, my first year. So I moved here in May of 2019. So okay, like it was a year ago, year and a half. And so last year, and on 2 years is so much different because last year we were mostly in person, and it was my first year here, so we were kind of trying some new stuff. And then this year with COVID, it being all online, it feels like an entirely new program. But yeah, I'm really very happy to be here. It's a really great opportunity, and yeah, I feel refreshed just by having new challenges year by year, and getting to meet new students.
Yeah, no, I bet COVID would. I mean, I feel like everywhere, yeah, COVID's really just throwing. It's really testing people's skills, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think something that you said that was really interesting to me was like the future of religion is interfaith, and like I don't know that I I completely agree with that. Like my synagogue was like very adamant about it. Like, and I'm from Minneapolis. My home congregation is called Shor Tikva, and uh, oh, um, and so like during like the marriage amendment, like in 2012, like the Minnesota Supreme Court was trying to define marriage as like a man and a woman,
Mm.
um, and I I call my synagogue the gay synagogue because like 3 years ago we got our first straight rabbi. She's delightful.
I think
We've got
it's amazing.
so, but yeah, so like a huge part of the advocacy work we did was really interfaith oriented, which was really cool to see. Like, like we would like at Shabbat services, like we would like invite like like a pastor or like an imam to speak, like in terms of like our interfaith work, and so it was really cool. So no, I completely agree with you. I don't think religions, I feel like religions persisted so long as they have in the way they have because of isolation geographically in some ways. I don't know, I've never taken a religious studies class, but it seems like that's possible. But in a growing world, I don't think that isolation is possible. I guess. I don't know. I'm not a theology nor a religious studies major, but
But some things like that, your kind of basic intuitions about the world feels different now than it probably did to people. I wasn't living 200 years ago, but like it seems passing to say that things feel different, and along the lines of like like we have access to how many traditions just over the internet, and I think our awareness of the world changes. I mean, yeah, like also trying to figure out what just with how long humans have been here on the planet, how young, how kind of new religions are, and kind of the
yeah.
history of humanity in general, and all the crises that we face right now as like a species and like in a global ecology. I I don't know. Those to me seem, I don't know, like certain things that I grew up with, certain ways of being religious just don't feel as appealing or as real to me. And it's it's not just what I grew up with, but it's certain things that people associate with religion. And yeah, I think it's messy. I think people find what works for them, but I know that this is like to me a very rewarding path, and it feels like it's something I want to pass on to other people, and we're in, at least host a space where people can find their own way in, I guess.
Yeah, no, completely. Like, I don't know, do you want to talk a bit about kind of like, I guess your like the kind of what am I trying to say? Like the kind of work you like doing, like what um like I guess goals like for the future. Like I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe this is like me just trying to like figure out what the future of the fellowship is for my own nefarious purposes, but for our listeners.
Where are you, where are you guys going next? Yeah. I mean, I have some short-term goals with. I mean, I'm hoping that I just sent out a poll to our fellows to sort of get some feedback about the semester. I think anyone who's running a program over Zoom is like, they should pat themselves on the back for sticking. Like, and I'm honestly really happy with how much y'all have engaged and just been consistent through everything. And I don't even know what it's like to be a student right now, really, like with everything else being online. But okay, so that the one thing, the short-term goal there being, I'm hoping to kind of offer the best online program we can have in this. That includes like, yeah, we're able to do some more religion 101 stuff. We're applying for a small grant to do some sessions on religion and race. I think we're gonna hopefully get a grant with Interfaith Youth Corps. Maybe I don't know. It's not like this is a huge public thing, should say we don't get the grant, but I think we'll hopefully get it. and that would be a few sessions, and I just this week have been kind of stewing over it a bit and figuring out what that's going to look like exactly. That's something we're looking forward to. We're also hoping to start partnering more with other UW system schools. Um,
Oh, that's
this
cool.
is also kind of a new in the works operation, and we don't know where it's going to go. So it's no promises or anything. But we yeah we've met some other people through stuff the Interfaith Youth Course put on, and just realized like there's a lot of other schools in our system, and people that could afford could benefit from interfaith work, and administrators there or faculty who want to engage it. So we just had a first meeting just to kind of see what some interest might be, and so we're looking to maybe share resources, maybe have some combined programming in some respect. That's kind of a bigger that's like a bigger administrative thing. I mean, in general, what I'm looking forward to and what I just enjoy is really getting to engage you all, the fellows, like seeing how you progress in your own thinking. Getting to kind of do what to me are kind of interesting interfaith events. Like, I mean, I think the race will be really powerful. I put a lot of thought into our election night event. That was something that I was really into. It was kind of, using our religious texts and traditions to engage the political moment and kind of, being able to bounce ideas off of one another and kind of use different traditions as points of reflection. That might not make sense to people that weren't at the event. So I don't need to go into too many more details there. But I think things that give people, our fellows in particular, but other students that come to events, some kind of intuition, some experience of what it's like to be a part of another religion or to be a part of no religion, and what it's like, and maybe even to kind of have that experience rub off on you in some way. Uh, like religious site visits are usually a part of our program. This year, we decided to, they're not really happening. So we may do some online stuff, but those are some things that are, those are, kind of longer term goals, shorter term goals, but as well as a little taste of what to me is really, really valuable, really meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that kind of stuff is really interesting. I'm curious about the interaction with like the other UW schools because I don't know. I mean, my really only knowledge of that kind of stuff is like I know like Milwaukee has a large Jewish population, just generally speaking. It's one of the like Orthodox Jewish kind of centers, I guess, in the United States,
Yeah.
which I learned like last year, which is kind of crazy. Um, yeah, no, okay, we have 7 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what do you want to chat about for 7 minutes? Do you have any questions for me? Do you have any about the CCE or about my room? I don't know.
Much,
Byler.
so much to talk about here. I guess I wanted to ask you what you've enjoyed from the fellowship lately. That may be a place to start.
Yeah. I don't know. I really just appreciate like the chance to talk like with people of other religions because while like like I said like my synagogue like really valued interfaith collaboration that was more of a like a grown-up thing and like this is I mean I was a child in Sunday school or like at a bar mitzvah like seeing these people talk about interfaith work and I didn't have the opportunity to do interfaith talking if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's enjoyable to like learn and to talk kind of like from primary sources, I guess if that makes it makes sense. Like we had an interfaith unit like in 8th grade. And so that's where I have like a bit of a knowledge base in like Sikhism, one that stands behind like Jainism, Hinduism. I know all of the ones because we just had Sikhism 101. But like I had a bit of like a background in that, but like
Mm.
getting the chance to hear it from people who do practice that religion is something I'd never had the chance to. Like it was always filtered through. Like, it was like a Jewish teacher telling me, and I
Yeah.
appreciated the knowledge at the time. But it's nice to talk with someone and hear about their experiences, and their beliefs and stuff like that. So I've just been enjoying talking is a big part of it.
Mm.
Um, I really enjoyed the 101 presentations I think are really interesting. Or that's what I just said. What were we talking about? The topic about religious pluralism and separation of church and state, I think was probably one of my favorite conversations we had.
Oh yeah.
Um, like I don't know, I think that stuff is really interesting. And like I remember what like one of the fellows was like, uh, um, was like, I mean, like atheist herself, but she's like, I don't think it's reasonable to separate them, like, or to expect them to be perfectly separate. And I just never like assumed that kind of perspective to be had. So that was interesting to hear about and to kind of like hear how she went about describing that was interesting. Or that was in like the blog post.
Yeah.
But then like hearing people respond to that and their own thoughts, and then the paper that went along with it, and like how like kind of like the ebb and flow of religion within the United States, I think was really interesting. I don't know, it's just, I mean, part of it I think is I'm a microbiome major. Like I am like drowning in STEM every single day.
Sure, sure,
And
sure.
like to get like a chance to talk about like not STEM is always exciting to me, but
Yeah.
especially because like being a religious person like myself, it's nice to learn about religions because you know I think it's fun. Yeah, and I'm really I applied for it actually in sophomore or to do it last year and I didn't get in. Thanks by the way. But
I actually, you know, I really
so
apologize about that. You were a great pick. You should have gone with it last year. Yeah.
but no, I think it's cool stuff. Like I don't know, I like learning about things. And I think there are a lot of things that aren't well taught in high schools in the sense that there just isn't time for it, and it doesn't always like there are things that just don't meet college entry requirements, so they get nixed. And I think religion is one of them. And so that's kind of like one of the appeals for me for the fellowship was that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I kind of rambled along the way, but
I like what you said about I like it even is even helpful for me to hear that oh I'm like biochem
microbiome.
microbiology student. It's like I never get to talk about this stuff, like, and to be honest, like religion is one of those things that people like don't know how to talk about with other
Mhm.
with people that aren't of their own religion. Like if they're and that to me is why we exist, or is kind of their justification for the work we do. Is that I don't know, it can be kind of awkward or clumsy. You're talking about things that are really important. They're very important to me, or they're really important to you, and I don't know. It can feel like uncomfortable, or I just don't. There's a reason people avoid talking about it, but that's why it's important to talk about. And for many other reasons. But I'm glad it feels like it's a cold glass of water, for you. Um, that to me is I don't know. It's meaningful. It's a meaningful perspective. Um,
Yeah, it's like a palate quencher or cleanser, as they
palate,
say.
palate, palate cleanser. Yeah, yeah. Uh, and I almost want to go on an Instagram live with every fellow and talk to them. And have this back and forth.
Do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast. I feel like I'm like a radio host.
Yeah, there's a lot of power. There's a lot of
Mhm.
yeah. I also wanted to ask you about if there's people here on the call that might not be very familiar with the Center for Cultural Engagement. If you wanted to, say a bit about what y'all do on campus.
Yeah, totally. So we're the Center for Cultural Enrichment. We're based out of Whitty. We do like programming on a lot of topics, like education events. We also hold like processing spaces. So like after like particular stressful moments, like after like various news stories that popped up over the summer, we held processing spaces. Some of the programs that we run, we did like a whole gambit of like really educational versus really social. Like I ran a program called Ghost Schools and Gays, and it was all about like horror and how it depicts LGBT people like throughout history. But then we also do stuff like talking about fast fashion, talking about toxic masculinity in like the gamer world and stuff like that. So we really do a lot. We have an Instagram. Well, clearly we have an Instagram. Our Instagram is a great resource to see what kind of stuff we're doing. And yeah, and it looks like we just ran out of time. But do you want to do like a quick plug of how people can get involved or talk about social media accounts or anything like that?
Yes. Yeah, I have a little rundown here. So, well, okay, so there's the fellowship. That's kind of like the biggest way, if you're an undergraduate, to get involved. Our applications go out in early April. If you're following our Instagram, like you'll be forewarned about it. You'll be told hopefully multiple times. But I will say, so yeah, we have just revamped all of our social media. So Instagram, you see us here, CRGC_UW. Twitter, we're at UW_CRGC. So it's the exact flip. It's the exact opposite of the Instagram. And Facebook, we're under the UW Center for Religion and Global Citizenry. Yeah, whatever you use, you can follow us appropriately there. Applications in early April. There's going to be some events that are open to other students. Like I said, like the race and religion events. That is something we're planning on opening to other students. We're also hoping to have some kind of event with our current fellows. Jake, you'd be one of them. Presenting to other students, possibly at UW, but maybe also with UW system students, kind of sharing their experience in the fellowship. It's a hazy, idea out there, but that could happen in the spring. I will also say there are former students that lead a group called Interfaith Online. So last year, Jake, maybe you're familiar. So if you look up Interfaith Online on Facebook, that's the best way that I know to find them. You can also email me, DASCHULZ, that's DA Schultz at wisc.edu. You can also find me on our website if you look up CRGC, Center for Religion and Global Citizenry. That's a lot. Don't need to do all of that. But if one of those things sounds cool, I recommend it. So yeah, stay tuned on our social media, and watch this conversation again if you enjoyed it. Just have it on constantly. That's all I think.
All right, awesome.
It's a pleasure. Really enjoyed it here.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This will be on Instagram TV for, as you said, for anyone to rewatch again. And really thank you for giving the time to talk. And I'll see you on Tuesday.
You'll see me on Tuesday. And I do apologize. I've part of me has wanted to like adjust the lighting this whole time, like not talking, doing it.
It's kind of like Dateline. Like it's almost like an anonymous, like witness protection interview. It has a certain like theater. I think it's delightful.
All right, we'll just edit it to make it look a little bit more intentional.
All right.
Just block me out entirely. We can just erase.
All right. Well, we'll see you later. Have a good rest of your night, and thank you again.
Take care.